It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep waiting for my sister to get back for yoga around like 8. Which, turns out yesterday was Sunday. Yoga wasn't yesterday. It's tonight, Monday night. So I had the wrong day in my head the entire time. But it's fine because like I really needed the sleep, man. I really needed to sleep. But now I'm like wide awake and it's 3 a.m. and I wasn't supposed to wake up till 7. So I'm trying to go back to sleep just for a couple hours. But this is probably going to wind up with me either sleeping later than I'm supposed to or just not being able to go back to sleep. I'll be staying up from now till like, I don't know, later tonight. But the sleep schedule is getting closer. I have been struggling. It feels like I've been fighting this uphill battle with my sleep schedule for months. And like, there's this rubber band effect of like, no matter what happens, somehow, some way, I get yanked back to being totally nocturnal. I mean, there's got to be a message there about natural rhythms. Trying to restore the balance. That takes effort, you know? You have to intentionally maintain your proper sleep schedule until it corrects itself biologically. I feel like I've been staying up like all night as long as I can remember. Never been good at sleeping during the appropriate hours. I don't know why I've been thinking about a particular like dream that I had when I was young. There was so many dreams I had when I was young that I'm like remembering right now, but there was one in particular. Oh no, I dropped a card. There was a bunch of kids. A bunch of kids were like running around outside, and for whatever reason I was like there with them. We dropped Justice. So I was there playing with them at the edge of this like circle of trees. They were pine trees, conifers. And we went through this ring of trees. And there was like this weird church inside. And we were like playing tag or something. You know, back when I was a kid, we used to play all sorts of games at church while we were like waiting for the parents and stuff like that. Because they'd be, you know, talking or socializing or whatever. But there was no parents in the dream. Just kids. And I don't think I actually knew the kids. They were like they weren't faceless, but they were like faces I didn't recognize. And I found my way to this like altar room. It was like, I don't know what they call it. It's not the sanctuary, maybe? But it wasn't like any of the sanctuaries that I saw growing up, because it was like really ornate with like stained glass everywhere and these really fancy pews. But there was this altar. It was like a stone altar in the center of the podium area. No podium, just like this fucking altar, man. It had a very like Catholic vibe to it, you know what I mean? It didn't really feel like I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, which, you know how they feel about Catholics, but, you know, like that's the imagery I've got in my head right now of like Catholic Church on the inside. But there was this sack of flesh on the altar. It was this giant, it was like if you took a womb and you took the womb out of a person and placed it on the altar. And it started off like a regular womb size, not that big enough for like a baby or something to be in it. But then it started like growing rapidly, and like you could see limbs just like pushing through and like expanding the sack. Like it wasn't busting out of the sack, it was pushing the sack, so you could see like a hand coming through the membrane. It was really creepy. Super, super creepy. But eventually it got to the size of like a full grown fucking human, and she like busted out with an arm and then a leg, and then like she just like popped out of this fucking sack, and it almost looked like imagine Anne Hathaway. It wasn't Anne Hathaway, but it looked like Anne Hathaway a little bit. Like straight brown hair, brown eyes. She was pretty. But she like didn't know how to walk, and she couldn't talk, and like it was very like zombie like, but she wasn't like dead, you know what I mean? But she just started like trying to stand up and walk towards us, and she was naked and covered in goo, and it was just like terrifying. So I fucking legged it. I booked it as fast as I fucking could. And it was like as soon as I got to the door, her hair was starting to like turn gold and curl. And she started like, I guess it was teleporting, man. But like she started just appearing around every other corner. And so we were all trying to run away and hide and find a place to be. And she would just like be there staring at us. And her eyes turned gold too, but eventually, like, as she started appearing before us, there was like some kind of red robe on her. So golden curly hair, gold eyes. And it was almost like cat-like. Her features became cat-like. I'm not talking like cat ears, but I mean like her face started like almost like scrunching up there. And it just reminded me of a very feline appearance. Maybe like tanning. Like getting like darker in skin tone. But anyway, I guess there was something about that we were trying to take her down. We were trying to kill her, unalive the monster in the dream. But like she was avoiding all harm somehow. Like I think I tried to like stab her in the eye with a muffler. I don't know why I had a muffler, but like that's what I was able to pick up. But like her eyeball somehow moved out of the way, and like I didn't get anything, you know what I mean? Even though I did stab her in the eye with the muffler, nothing like happened. It was like just her, that section of her eye just like and then went back into place, and I was like, okay, I can't do anything about this, and I fucking like tried to run again. And I don't know why that's relevant, but there was also a dream I remembered where I was like running through a school, and there were these like harpy creatures, like women with talons for feet and hands, and like almost like the Yu-Gi-Oh harpy monsters. That was one of my favorite decks, by the way. I was badass with a harpy deck. But being chased through a school with harpies, and then there was like another one where my grandparents were running a bar out of like a broken tree. It was like a tree that was on the ground, and there was some kind of like weird peacock. I don't have enough time to get into it all, but it was like an unlocking of memories. I just got a shit ton of like dreams back that I'd totally forgotten about.